You know, one of the things I was thinking about, sorry about that, guys, today was my dad. You know, every once in a while I'll have a remembrance of my father, of my dad. And obviously he was my father. He'll always be my father, but I had my dad alive for 30 years. My dad died in May of 96, and I was 30 years old. I had my dad for 30 years, and I was very, truly blessed. But one of the things I want to tell you about my father, about my dad, I have this view out here, guys, look at that, beautiful, is my dad was, for lack of a better term, and I don't use language, my dad was a hard butt, man. He was rough. He was rough around the edges, but let me tell you about some things with my dad. You know, he wasn't educated. He had a 7th grade education, and but my dad should have been an engineer. He really should have, because he was so technically smart. He was also very courageous. He wasn't afraid to try stuff, you know, because he was faced up. He had his back up against the wall with all these children. He had 8 kids, and then he also raised some grandkids. But one of the things I remember about my dad was he was rough, man. He was just hard. You know, we were scared of my dad, okay? But as years have gone by, I feel like I've learned to respect my dad more than I ever have in my life, because he did all the things that he did with a 7th grade education. He owned his house outright. He had land, he owned it outright. He had vehicles, he owned them outright. He absolutely hated to be in debt to anybody, not just financially, but to owe anybody anything. My dad's word was his bond. He made sure that when he gave you his word, it meant everything. And so I heard somebody recently that had a father very similar to mine, and he actually had the opportunity to ask his dad, "Why were you so hard on me? Why did you treat me the way you treated me?" And his dad's answer was very simple. He says, "That's all I knew. That's the way I knew." He said, "And I just did the best that I could with you guys to prepare you for your life as a man, to prepare you for this, to live in this world that we're living in. That's not easy." And he told his son, he said, "But now as you look back and you're asking me that question, how do you feel about yourself?" He says, "It's amazing," he said. And so I want to share something with you guys today. If you didn't get the opportunity or privilege to grow up with a father, or if you did, I want you to start remembering this. As a man now, I'm 57, almost 58. I look back and I think about some of the things my dad did. Blows me away, guys. Blows me away, the things he did. Because as you get older as a man, as a father, you start learning it's not as easy as you thought it was, right? Because at 18, we know everything. My respect level for my dad is through the roof, and my mom, of course, but I'm just talking about my dad today. And I remember him, and I miss him so much. And one of the things I want to share with you today is do the best you can with what you have. Ask God to give you the grace and the strength. If you're not intelligent, that's okay. Seek the wisdom of God. God bless you guys.